Hi everybody, I'm Matt Price with The Oklahoma, and I'm here with Kari Barber, who is producing a series of films called Struggle and Hope. They're going to be shown here in Oklahoma over the next few weeks, and I'd like to talk to her about kind of how that process came to be. How did you get started making these films?
Wow, yeah, going back to the beginning now. In 2012, I was a graduate student at American University in Washington, D.C. studying film, and my mother-in-law went to go see the play Oklahoma, and the lead actress was an African-American woman, and in the program there was a small little blurb that said something about how there once was an effort to make an all-black state in Oklahoma, and there were all these historically all-black towns in Oklahoma, and I had grown up in Oklahoma and I had never heard the story, and that's why I thought, this can't be right. I took Oklahoma history. I should know this. If this was true, I would know it. So I started reading about it, and luckily the Historical Society had done some really great research. Here, the Oklahoma Historical Society had just done some really great research on it, and so there was a lot of information, and I thought, wow, this is a really important part of the history that we don't know about, that's not taught really in schools as part of Oklahoma history. So I thought it's a fascinating part of the history, and that's how this all kind of began. And then since then, it just seemed, you know, because there are about a dozen towns that remain, and in a documentary you just can't fit a dozen towns into a documentary as much as you want to. So that's why a web project then became an important part of this. And so this is a website and a documentary, and what we're doing in these screenings this week are the short mini documentaries, we call them, that we've made about each of the remaining towns, or about 12 of the remaining towns. We've made a short documentary. So we'll go back to the town and show the video that we made while we were in the town, as well as bring a historian and kind of make it a whole discussion event is the goal. And that's sponsored by the Oklahoma Humanities Council, this tour is. Okay,
great. What have you learned from doing this? What are some interesting things that have come to the fore that you weren't aware of?
I think I didn't realize in some ways, anybody who studies history should know, but how interconnected everything is. When I first started on this, I had heard of the Tulsa race riot, but I didn't know if it had anything to do with these towns or what kind of connections there were. And then just to learn that everything, you know, people and towns and all this has really connected history. And I think that's the important thing for me in this, is to say this is not, this is not a story of the towns. This is not their history. This is our history, because everything is interconnected that we in this state, you know, what's happened in our history. So I think that was one of the interesting things I keep finding, is all these overlaps of stories and history that, you know, affected each other, and interestingly, how hard people are fighting to keep their towns going, despite all kinds of odds and struggles that all small towns face, not just historically all black small towns, but all small towns face real struggles. And seeing that firsthand, those kind of difficulties, was like, wow, we really, as a nation, need to value the culture and important things in history that small towns bring, and maybe not make it so hard on them.
Okay, great. Tell people where they can find out more, what they can do to get involved, that sort of thing.
So our website is www.struggleandhope.com, and we're launching a new website, should be launched this week. We have one up right in the moment, but we're making a slicker looking new one. And so there's an opportunity on the website to leave a comment if this is a history, if you know something about the towns, if you have your own personal story, to leave a photo, leave a story, anything to share, because we want to make this a collective history. Where in the history in the past, they say it's the general's history, top-down kind of history. What we're working on is a people's history, where people can contribute to the story. So it's really designed, both these screening events and the website are designed to be a participatory, interactive kind of project. The documentary itself, being a film, can't allow, so that's why this is an important part of it, this on-the-ground stuff, and also the website.
Okay, and if people can't make the screening, some of the stuff is on the YouTube channel now?
Absolutely, yeah. On YouTube, we've got, at the time, about 10 videos about several of the towns. We're releasing new videos every month, short videos, a few minutes long, up to 10 minutes long. Interesting little parts of history about the towns, interesting people, and that sort of thing. And that's on our YouTube channel, so if you look for Struggle and Hope on YouTube, or go to the website. Or we have a Facebook page, which is really active, and a lot of people have been sharing their stories on Facebook. So Struggle and Hope on Facebook, or Struggle and Hope on YouTube. Also, Instagram. I don't Instagram. My husband does the Instagram. I don't know how to use it, but my husband Instagrams and loves doing that. So we're sharing a lot of photos on Struggle and Hope on Instagram as well.
All right, thanks. Well, thanks so much for coming in and telling us about this, and I look forward to seeing more from this story as it comes together. So thanks a lot.
All right, thank you so much.